Hey everyone, this is Stephen Strawn at Cast Iron Cookware, where you can find information to help you better collect, restore, and use cast iron cookware. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my seasoning cloth routine, and I'm going to be doing that coming right up. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you to everyone that's purchased my product, Easy Beezy Cast Iron Seasoning. The purchase of this product helps keep this channel going, and I just want to say thank you so very much. So let's get on into the video. I've had many people ask me, what kind of seasoning cloth do you use, and what do you do with it when you're done? How do you dispose of it? How do you get rid of it? So I'm going to answer those questions and probably a few more as we go. Let me pull the camera down where you can see what's inside my kit. Now right here is my seasoning kit. You don't have to have one this large, but this is handy for me. I can keep it sealed, keep everything stored in the same place. Inside my kit, I also have a supply of cotton swabs. Those are really handy when you're dealing with muffin pans and cornstick pans, things that have a lot of little crannies. I also keep a baggie I use occasionally. I have my season removal cloth. I have my older cloth. I got a few. Of course, I have my Easy Beezy seasoning inside there as well. And then I have a lot of clean cloths that I have cut and took from t-shirts. My personal favorite is 100% cotton t-shirt material, but I have quite a few extras that I've cut out of a single t-shirt. Then I have one that I left from an old t-shirt. Okay, here are my three cloths. This one right here is my first seasoning cloth, my second seasoning cloth, and my wipe down cloth that doesn't have much on it. Now that we've taken a look at our kit, I want to say the purpose for my three different cloths. I have one cloth that is very, very infused with seasoning. Whether it's Easy Beezy or whatever type of oil that you're using, you're going to have one cloth that is very, very infused after a while. And then I have another one that has a little less on it. Then I have my wipe down cloth that is almost dry. It doesn't have but just a little bit of seasoning on it. Okay, we're going to use this little Petey Pat's porch skillet as an example. These are pretty cool. This is made by Birmingham Stove and Range for the Petey Pat's Porch restaurant. When you ordered a side of vegetables of some kind at Petey Pat's Porch restaurant, you would carry the skillet home with you as kind of a souvenir. You may have had to pay a little more for it, I don't know, but really interesting. Now when you start the seasoning process, first of all, you take a warm piece of cast iron. This is not warm, but we're going to be using it as, you know, a demonstration. But say it's heated up to 250 degrees. Now it's going to be too hot to handle, so you're going to need oven mitts. But for demonstration purposes, we're just going to go cold. You'll apply your seasoning product to it, whether it's Easy Beezy or some other seasoning product, whether it's another brand, which I would rather you stick to Easy Beezy, or grapeseed oil or something like that. You'll apply your oil to the surface of the cast iron after it's been warmed up. You will take your application cloth and make sure your cast iron is completely covered everywhere, inside and out, with your seasoning oil. Now, we don't stick it in the oven yet. After we make sure that it's completely covered, we'll take our dry wipe down cloth and we'll wipe away all of the excess that we possibly can. Some people even use the word buff. Buff away all that you possibly can till you feel like that you've removed it all, but you haven't. A thin layer is what you want. Remember, the first rule of seasoning cast iron is less is best. Several reasons why. One, you get a stronger, thinner, harder seasoning layer. Number two, you have less smoke in your oven, so you're not going to smoke your house up. And number three, you won't have any dripping, you won't have any splotching or any pooling on your cast iron. I will say this, some people will go in after their cast iron has got heated up for maybe 300-400 degrees. They'll take it out again with oven mitts, wipe it down again, and then put it back in the oven and finish the process. Okay, so now I'm going to go through the reason why I use 3 different cloths. As you know, we have one that is very, very clean. Doesn't have much oil on it at all. It's your wipe down cloth. To remove as much oil as you possibly can, you need one that's dry. Okay, my second one is my application cloth that I use for every piece of cast iron when I apply the seasoning. And it has a really good infusion of my seasoning oil. Actually, a lot of times I can wipe down a piece of cast iron without ever having to use the Easy Beezy stick because there's plenty of Easy Beezy infused into this cloth. I may be able to wipe down 3 or 4 pieces without even having to add any more of the seasoning product. That leads us to my other cloth. I have one that I like to call my first application cloth. Now, if you're restoring cast iron, you're going to have a few pieces that you strip down to bare metal during a live bath process or electrolysis or the easy off oven cleaner in a bag method. And you're going to strip occasionally down to bare metal. And what I've noticed is when you apply that first layer, you'll get a lot of staining on your cloth. So the way I do it is I take my oldest, yuckiest, for lack of a better word, seasoning cloth, and I'll use that for my first application. And then when I get ready for my second layer of seasoning, I will switch and I will use my regular application cloth because it is really infused. It doesn't have the iron stains or anything like that on it. Now it's going to get stained, but it's going to take longer. Then after a while, when this cloth gets looking really bad, I will migrate it to my first application cloth. So originally I'll start off with a brand new, clean, 100% cotton t-shirt material cloth. Now this is colored, you can use white. I also try to make sure that I don't have anything like this on it. I don't want the plastic or whatever it is for making these kind of emblems on your t-shirts to get onto my cast iron. So I'll trim that out before I cut my t-shirts down to a usable size. First off, I have my collection of seasoning cloths that have never been used for the time that I need a fresh, dry, clean cloth. Secondly, I have my wipe down cloth. Now it has a little bit of oil on it, but not too much to do a good job in wiping away the excess. But what do when this one gets so infused that I can't wipe away the excess? Well, I replace it with a brand new dry cloth. I move this up the ladder and call it my application cloth. My other piece is my application cloth. And when this one gets really yucky, maybe smelly, maybe stained a little bit, I'll move it to my first application cloth. And then I have my old first application cloth that's all stained up, yucky, full of iron smells, maybe even rancid oil smells. Now it's time to dispose of it. How do you dispose of your seasoning cloth? How do you store and dispose? For one, I like to store it inside my container. That way I don't have to worry about it getting caught on fire or smelling up the house. And it also does a good job at, keeping the oil from going rancid. You can also store your seasoning cloths in a Ziploc baggie, like this one right here, and stick it in the refrigerator. That works fine as well. Now when you take it out of the refrigerator, it's going to be hard because that oil is going to be real stiff. It's going to be hard to use on your cast iron. I just say pop it in the microwave for a minute and let it loosen up, and that'll make it a little easier to apply to your cast iron. So back to getting rid of a cloth once you're done with it. I do not suggest just throwing it in the trash because it is going to be flammable because it's going to be very, very infused with oil. I would say take you some dishwashing liquid, really soak it down good and give it a good washing with dishwashing liquid. It'll cut a lot of the grease and a lot of the oils out of it. And then go outside somewhere, lay this thing out on a driveway or somewhere that you're not going to worry about staining it. Maybe an old concrete block or something, a rock. I wouldn't lay it on your grass where it might kill the grass. Let it dry out in the sun for a day or two. You can dispose of it like that. I would probably put it in a baggie and then throw it in the trash. But you can go a step further. After it's dried out, just give it a good soak with water. Put it inside a baggie, and then dispose of it. I've heard people say the 3 Ds. Dry it, dunk it, and discard it. So that way you'll be safe. You won't be having to worry about a fire being started or anything like that. So that is my seasoning cloth routine. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video and got some information that is helpful to you. And if you have, please do not forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I promise I'll keep more coming. And I just want to say thank you again for watching Cast Iron Cookware. Before you go, I just want to share something with you really quickly. In Isaiah chapter 1, verse 18, it says, "Come now, and let us reason together, saith the Lord. Though your sins be as scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. Though they be red like crimson, they shall be as wool." I just want to say, share the word and be a blessing.